love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared. I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared.
Hello everyone. I'm assuming and I'm hoping everything is working right. In fact, yeah, it seems that it is. Hope you're all doing well. On the screen you can see Tesla, by the way. I hope everyone watched the video I made about Tesla today. It was pretty simple and pretty obvious, in fact. I mean, we spoke about this literally 3 months ago. In fact, those who know and are in the know in the community, right? Pardon me. No, we spoke about this actually over 4 months ago and knew the exact potential outcome, and it seems like it panned out, like we said, 95% accuracy. I deeply apologize for not being as consistent and having done all the lives and videos that I've promised I will do. Sadly, as you already seen, things are pretty messy in Israel. Several ballistic missiles have hit successfully in several very sort of central locations. Many people have died, many people have got injured. And so, of course, as you can imagine, that caught me off guard. Right now, my flights are canceled out of Bulgaria, so technically I'm here to stay for a while. And so, as you can imagine, that threw a bit of a monkey wrench into my plans. Yeah, things did not work out exactly as expected now. So, but about that more to the community members, I will make an ad-free video. I'll talk about all of this. I'll break it all down. I'll explain everything, right? I do apologize. So, hey there, useless. Hello, hello, Midwest. Good to see you, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you. I'm safe, Alex. I'm right now. I'm as safe as humanly possible. literally out of the country. So, pardon me, I'm as safe as it humanly possibly possible to be. So, let's go to the technical analysis. Let's cover the SPX as we usually do, right? I know I didn't speak about this the other day, but actually some really fun, good things happened. I mean, we already, some of us in the know understand we've generated the gap right here, and so subsequently the closure of this gap leading to this moment where we are right now, sort of descending, deteriorating very, very slowly, is a good thing because we were able then to complete this chore, if you will. Sadly, we have still generated a new chore to get rid of, which I'm actually, I would warn everybody not to, jump from excitement. Oh, look, the market's going up. So what? The market has been going up and down for the past, yeah, many months now, actually, if we really go over the actual range within which we've been moving. Really, we haven't conquered any true real highs since we are moving within the framework of the very same range. It's just that we went to the absolute extremes of it, slipped out a little bit. Now we're moving back in. So, with all regards, nothing all that substantial. Let's go, in fact, go over to our sort of normal-ish chart, the one we look at. Let's go over the time frames. 1 minute is not all that substantial. As you can see, we have roughly about, well, let's call it 2 hours until market closes, 2 hours and 3 minutes. Actually, very convenient that the time zone within which I'm in is identical to mine. So very convenient. So I would still expect the closure of this gap, the leftover, the remnants of that gap to get rid of, to be filled in, if you will, within the following session or two. Why? Because we're still very close. It still is very magnetic. The market would more likely, more probably than not, will move upside just for a rebalancing sort of behavior. We'll see if we can identify that on the 5 minutes. Well, surprise, surprise, 5 minutes has already ran through oversold conditions for a while and getting prepped to move higher, as you can see on the screen. And potentially, as you can see, the channel breakdown right now, the channel, although being, of course, a descending channel, still that range right here easily conquered 6012 just within the framework of, I would argue, the following 2 hours actually. And then if not, so we can do it overnight within creating a new gap tomorrow. Potentially that's going to be a very ugly scenario. Gapping up somewhere here, moving down, moving up, closing the gap, moving down. A completely potential scenario right there. 30 minutes. 30 minutes is oversold and bearish. Objectively, no argument right there. You can see red dominant. We are in oversold conditions. 30 minutes will imply potentially that we are moving from where we are now to that bottom again, retesting that 5984. So kind of where we are and maybe slipping slightly lower, kind of where these lows were. So it's not going to be all that surprising. Again, that potentially is, if I'm not mistaken, the very same median of the shorter range channel. Median is the center line. If we have a very wide channel going on right there, we have sort of a median, a center line going through the overall chart, and that area is, as you can see on the screen right now. That area perfectly matches with probably this area with the bottom kind of direction. With in between here we have various supports and resistances we can just identify with the naked eye. Of course, I wouldn't try to, you know, eyeball them. That's not the correct way to go, but I'm saying just through the observation we can see right here on the screen, we can potentially identify a support or resistance level that have been retested. There you go. Pretty easily identifiable through these retests, multiple retests for a very short period of time. Do not eyeball things at home, boys and girls. I can do that simply because, well, this is my profession. I've been doing this for so many years that it becomes easy. But you don't do that because you're potentially going to identify, well, wrong things. Pardon me. 45 minutes. I should mute next time I do this. Just, let's test this. Ta-da! Magic, right? 45 minutes still objectively bearish. So as you can see, this is a bit problematic. We have multiple levels to be retested within the framework of the following sessions, or at least hours. And so it's not going to be all that surprising if we're going to see the price action drop down all the way to 5939 again, just to retest the bottom of the channel again, sort of something like this. Just then to identify and find that level that we just saw, then break into the channel, retest these, just to then find itself fighting that junction, if you will, right? That uh, convergence, that confluence of these various channels that are coming together. And so that area becomes very, very strong and potentially more likely than so to be retested. 1 hour. 1 hour is objectively bearish, right? 1 hour is objectively bearish. Let's look at this. 1 hour has penetrated the 50 range on the stochastic RSI, meaning we're now accelerating. Meaning, if, let's say, if this was a car, so far we've been moving at 10 kilometers an hour. Now we've accelerated. Now we're moving 30 kilometers an hour in whatever direction we were moving earlier. As you can see, the D is dominant, implying that we are actually bearish. Not exactly, that's not exactly how it works. Those are actually fast and slow. One of them is delayed. It's a little bit of a different sort of real perception how it really works. But at the end of the day, you should perceive it as bearish and bullish, or rather simply so, as I often describe in the community, if this is an airplane flying up in in the sky, and then the engines just blow out and it starts dropping. This is that acceleration that the plane will experience descending back towards Earth. All right, that's kind of it. And the faster, of course, the longer we go, the faster we accelerate. Now, sooner we arrive and drop to the ground. Right now, 4 hours. 4 hours is still going downwards. Pretty simple. As you can see right there, we are having convergence, divergence. So again, that confluence, meeting of the forces, which potentially means more sideways when the market is so uncertain and we're having almost the contradiction of the forces simultaneously happening from both ends. It's far more likely that we will see, if oftentimes I describe it, if the market, if this is sideways price action, kind of like this. So imagine our price action could be sideways with an inkling of upwards kind of thing, or sideways with an inkling of downwards. Basically downwards or upwards with a tiny bit of direction, nothing significant. So what we're identifying here, that is more or less that sideways, and it appears to be that we're moving into this some form of a wedge, which could be the confluence of these the meeting of these various channels all together, right? There's another smaller, shorter range channel that's happening inside. It's just not on the screen right now, but you can kind of identify how the market is moving, having that diagonal resistance into that corner, which can potentially lead actually into that sort of range. Bottom line is we're still very much bearish and potentially going to be moving further on and accelerating downwards once we penetrate oversold conditions. As most of you know, that's how it works. On the daily, we are actually again oversold, and we are oversold in a very, very strong direction downwards, very proper divergence on the forces, implying that this is going to accelerate. Let's see if we see anything. It's pretty simple. There's nothing too much to cover. We're below the 50, meaning so far we're accelerating. As soon as we break that 20 range, we will then accelerate further quicker and then potentially start to see the actual movement downwards on the daily spilling over into the weekly. As you can see, the weekly is again having a bit of convergence right here, kind of coming onto a point. Once that point has been achieved, we're probably going to see, well, not probably, that's how it works. We're going to see the confluence of the forces. The D will take dominance, the bearish momentum will become dominant and subsequently start overturning this structure downwards. As it breaks through the 80 and then continues towards the 50, it will become more and more bearish, leading to the price action basically to lead lower and lower and lower. Potentially our first serious resistance, I wouldn't say it's a major resistance as much as it's a first serious resistance, would be roughly around. We already experienced all these channels and resistances before. Now there is a little bit more confluence right here, and this junction meeting of the forces at around 57.98. Let's just call it 5800. Okay. So what we are expecting within the following sessions. Oh my God, what the hell did I just do? Let's just 5800, right? So that's give or take what we are expecting to see. Within the following sessions, as this overturns, uh, after the daily, of course, spills over into the oversold area, it will accelerate lower. Let me just check that you guys are not going bananas there. And I hope you can actually hear me. I hope the sound is working and everything is fine. Yeah, it seems that it is. Perfect. Um, mm, 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 mm. Stuck on vacation. No, it's heavenly here. Casey, I cannot describe to you how heavenly it is in Bulgaria. I mean, I haven't been yet to Sofia. I haven't. I've just kind of been in Varna and the adjacent areas. It is phenomenal. It is just beautiful beyond belief. That when me and the other passengers from Israel came down from the airport, people immediately started saying, "Oh my God, it looks like a cartoon or a video game or something." Of course, each with their own references, right? But it literally looked so just um, beautiful to the point where you might suspect it's beyond artificial. It's just so, so, so beautiful. It's hard to describe. People here in general are very warm, very welcoming, very nice, right? Um, And so yeah, no, I had an absolute blast so far. The food is good. I actually got to eat some food that is very much similar to what I eat at home, which is pretty amazing. What else? What else? What else? The cars here are just insane. The level of customization the people here have on their vehicles here, and how much they love them and put effort and just money and just sheer, you know, admiration, right? Is just wow. It's just insane. People here really love their cars, as it should be. Um, and it's not just the culture, but the conditions really allow that to be the case. What else? What else? I mean, it's just beautiful beyond belief. It's tasty, beautiful, nice, fun. Weather is great. The Black Sea is just there are moments it feels like you can walk on it. It's just so flat. It feels like you can calm. It feels like you can just walk on the thing. Prices are very, very nice. Very, very. For me, they're considered cheap. Israel being one of the most expensive places, if not the most expensive place in the world. Um, and so, just what can I tell you? It's great. It's all over great. I've been having a blast. My host, my friend here who is hosting me, is a phenomenal friend and a phenomenal host, taking care of every single want and need I had. And the compound, the area where I'm staying, is basically like this private neighborhood that has a private beach and a pool and all sorts of amenities and services like restaurants, staff on hand, basically like living in a hotel. So it's phenomenal beyond belief, and not just a hotel, a five-star one. So saying, just saying. Um, what else? What else? What else? Yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot more that I'm not thinking of. I'm just kind of skipping in my mind without realizing. Every place subsequently, inevitably has some shortcomings. It's not perfect 100% here. There are some shortcomings, but they're so tiny and invisible that they just pale in comparison to how amazing it is here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I've been to Europe and I've seen some mixtures of what they have here, but not to that level of beauty. And normally, even if they have all that advancement and the classical buildings and everything all together, normally it comes at the price and the sacrifice of nature, oftentimes. And I cannot say that is the case here. Nature is just everywhere. It's lush and beautiful and green, and it just re-energizes you to how beautiful it is. And I can again, you have to come and see this during this season. It's just re-energizing, revitalizing the soul, literally. Now, what else? What else? What else is going on here? By the way, boys and girls, if you don't mind, pressing the like, it really does help. I mean, it's free. Why not? Dislike, like, who cares? Whatever, whatever floats your boats. As you've seen, by the way, so far I've been on point on oil, and as expected, as I've been saying earlier on to the community members, we cannot know what that event that will lead up to this. Oftentimes, it's something that comes from left field, and it doesn't mean this is the end all be all of things. In fact, I would argue that oil probably is going to drop down again, probably to retest that 70 area. So that would be absolutely normal. I'm not saying that because that's what the momentum is saying at the moment. I'm just saying that's so very probable. And I mean, I don't even have to look at this point to know that inevitably there will be some variant of convergence right here on our way up. Something will happen. It just that's how things, you know, work, especially when it comes to such a highly correlated to everything assets such as oil, energy, raw material. It is everything. Oil is everything, boys and girls. Remember, understanding oil is crucial. Our members talk about oil, ask about commodities all the time. We talk about gold, silver, or not just precious metals, but all sorts of. If sometimes it's even coffee beans and wheat or whatever, whatever is relevant at the time, right? I'm going to be more than happy to share my knowledge with my members, regardless of the topic. If I can, I'll be more than happy to. So we speak about all sorts of commodities in my community. You are more than invited to join us and be in the know. And actually, instead of relying on I feel like and I think like, actually relying on data-driven analysis as we do it here. As you can see, we were able to predict and identify movements up to 4 months in advance. I really am not the sort of type to be the Captain Obvious, telling you, look, the market's going up, like you don't have a pair of eyes. It's like, look, the market's going down. Oh, you don't say, sir. No shit, Captain Obvious. Um, let's continue. I think you're starting to understand and get the picture that is being painted right here. We are obviously gonna continue moving lower and lower as the days go by. The real question becomes whether that's gonna be another just seemingly tired retest of the very same channels, the very same levels, just to get stuck and retest them again, or this is an actual beginning of the movement downwards. Arguably, I would say that what we're seeing is almost like this transition, right? And it's very tedious and almost like if you would try to turn a tanker around. The captain can probably steer the wheel, to the left all the way, tie it to whatever, go away, have lunch, have a nap for a couple of hours, come back, and the ship will still be turning because it's just so big. The market is very big, boys and girls, as you can imagine. Liquidity oftentimes does not spill over immediately, but rather it takes its sweet time. The structure we got this time around is completely abnormal. I've emphasized and highlighted this many times. It doesn't change the fact of the matter that the market was able to push higher, and in my personal opinion, with a great help from the market makers. Of course, they benefit because they have you normally positions in both directions, and they just simply know, like a good farmer, know which crop to take off this time around. That is it, boys and girls. That's all I wanted to talk about this time around. There's not much to highlight here any further. We kind of spoke about all these things. Most of us were expecting this. In fact, the community is not surprised at all. We've mentioned exactly how this sort of price action may play out, as unfortunate, as unpleasant as it is, being thrown around to the one end and all the way to the other end, and then potentially now to the other end again. So back and forth with high volatility. And I've warned about this not just 4, 5, 6 months ago. I've been warning about this 2 years ago and saying that this period will come and that's how it will look like. So if you don't believe me, please go ahead, watch my older videos and see that I've been saying exactly what I'm saying right now that I have, just like I did today with Tesla. Kind of took a look back whether my analysis was successful or correct, wrong, whatever. And that is it. Triple Qs, of course, are moving to close the gap they've generated right here still. So, and of course, don't forget some of the gap is not exactly And obviously, it's not just that gap. There's a lot more there to be filled, which is basically a subsequent reaction. It's not. It's a side effect of the price action on the indices actually doing what they're meant to do, and the opposite reaction on that opposite index, right? Derivative rather. Now, what else? Being plug, nothing all that substantial. Broke out of the previous channel all the way to 140, 150, 150. What was 150-ish, 140. Broke back down to retest the very range we just broke out of, which is the $1 range, moving within the framework of the channel. Pretty obvious, pretty neat. And so, yeah, expect a corrective movement to the upside sometime soon, leading to roughly around 160, 180, and if we're really, really lucky, maybe pushing higher towards $2, retesting that strong psychological level. That is it, boys and girls. Yeah, that is it. I've made a video about Tesla earlier today. I recommend you take a look. It's all pretty simple and gonna be the idea is pretty simple and gonna be. I'm saying that the market, rather Tesla, will be moving the very same direction as the vastness of the market will be, and subsequently leading lower and lower as the indices will be, as oil is hiking. Everything will be affected by that as well. So there are many, many, many factors. I'm not even mentioning Trump and his shenanigans. I'm not talking about the Middle East. Everybody forgot about Russia, Ukraine. Guys, there's so much going on right now. It's phenomenal the market was able to hold up as high as it has. And I would say it's not phenomenal as much as it's um, prolonged, if you will, right? At the end of the day, doesn't as long as it's not pattern breaking, the pattern that is meant to happen on the technical side of things, all of this is completely legitimate, completely normal, and can happen, as unfortunate as it is. Alrighty, boys and girls, for the third and final time, I'll see you on the next one. I will try to be a little bit more consistent with making the videos, bring you up to speed. Sadly, not a lot has changed. We're kind of just filling in holes as we're preparing to go lower within the upcoming sessions. Of course, if something substantial will happen, I will make an extra effort to go online and talk about it. As you can imagine, I'm very, 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 very um, um, preoccupied mentally right now. Again, those who haven't seen, I'll just show that again. This is how a neighborhood about 5 to 20 minutes drive away from where I live. As the crow flies, it literally is about 5 minutes away. Yeah, so yeah, looks like I have to run. Phone is ringing. That's how it looks like. Love you all. Bye bye.